my name is Mia, a model from New York. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Ever since I was a little princess, I had always dreamed of being a model. I was fascinated by fashion and vowed to make it to the top of the fashion industry. In school, I was the most beautiful girl and even became prom queen in high school. Little did I know that this dream would eventually compromise my chances of finding love. The crisp autumn air danced through the open window, carrying with it the scent of fallen leaves and distant memories. I sat on the edge of my bed, my fingers tracing absent patterns on the worn quilt beneath me, lost in a whirlwind of emotions that threatened to consume me completely. My mind was on the verge of insanity as it replayed the episodes of the last few months. I always believed in the power of love, that it could transcend any obstacle, conquer any challenge, and defeat any heights. So when I met Henry, I felt it, that undeniable connection that seemed to bind us together from the very start. When I met him, I was trapped in time. He seemed like the perfect one for me. He seemed like an angel that had been dropped from heaven. He was this masculine man with a smile that could melt any heart. But of course there was one problem. He wasn't mine to claim. He had a girl that he did not appreciate him, Sophia. He did to her everything that any lady would die for. Trips to the Maldives, being driven in the most expensive cars, and celebrating her with each milestone in their relationship. The lady was a drama queen, always not satisfied with what was offered to her. She most times embarrassed him with her childish tantrums. I watched from afar and made up my mind to pursue him. Everything I did was in the hopes that he was going to leave Sophia, since he was having troubles with her, and come for me. I poured my heart into every word, every touch, every stolen moment we shared. I listened to his worries, his doubts, his fears, all the while secretly hoping that my presence would be the lure to soothe his troubled soul. And then one day, it happened. He left Sophia. He walked away from the wild relationship he had been clinging to and ran into my arms. In that moment, I felt a sense of victory surge through me. Victory at last, he was finally all mine. He came to me a troubled soul, and I assured him that I would heal his heart. I whispered sweet promises into his ear, reassuring him that he had made the right choice, that together we could weather any storm. And for a while, it seemed like we were living in our own little paradise, shielded from the outside world by the strength of our love. We complemented each other in every way. The life I had been dreaming of was finally mine to live. He showered me with love. As his love was boundless, he awakened the woman in me. The time spent together was never enough. Our holidays always seemed endless as each time spent together was out of this world. We would spend lazy Sundays wrapped in each other's arms, lost in whispered conversations and stolen kisses, while watching our favorite channel, exploring relationship dilemmas. He would trace the lines of my face with gentle fingers, his touch igniting a fire within me that burned brighter than the sun, literally, like I'm not capping. And in those moments, I allowed myself to believe that maybe, just maybe, we were meant to be. But the story didn't end there. It looks like I jubilated too early. Slowly, almost imperceptible at first, cracks began to appear in our once perfect facade. As I sat at my vanity applying layers of makeup for my next photo shoot, the soft hum of the hairdryer filled the room as my hairstylist worked on perfecting my looks. I glanced at Henry, who was sitting on the edge of the bed, his expression distant. "Henry, is everything all right?" I asked, my voice filled with concern. Henry looked up, his eyes clouded with uncertainty. "Yeah, I'm fine," he replied, but I could sense something was definitely bothering him. Henry didn't seem cheerful throughout the shoot. As my career as a model flourished, Henry's insecurities seemed to grow. I knew it stemmed from his past relationship with Sophia. Henry had confessed to me about the trust issues and heartache he endured during that time, and I had done my best to reassure him of my faithfulness. But as the days passed, Henry's fears seemed to consume him. I watched as he withdrew into himself, his once vibrant personality overshadowed by doubt and suspicion. I longed to ease his worries, to make him see that I was different, that our love was stronger than any insecurity. The day of my biggest runway show arrived, New York Fashion Week, and I could feel the excitement building in the air. I slipped into the elegant gown that had been chosen for me, the fabric cascading around me like a waterfall. As I stepped onto the runway, the bright lights enveloped me, casting a warm glow on my skin. But amid the applause and admiration, I couldn't shake off the feeling of Henry's absence. I knew he was in the audience somewhere, his eyes fixed on me with a mixture of pride and apprehension. After the show, I searched for Henry in the crowded room, my heart pounding in my chest. What worsened the situation was that Drake, a famous rapper, approached me and asked me out on a date. I declined the offer since I respected what Henry and I had. When I finally found Henry, he was standing alone in a corner, his shoulders slumped and his gaze distant. He had seen Drake approaching me. "Henry, what's wrong?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Henry looked up, his eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry, Mia," he said, his voice cracking with emotion. "I can't shake off this feeling that you'll leave me, just like Sophia did." I felt my heart break at his words. I took his hand into mine, holding it tightly against my chest. "Henry, listen to me," I said, my voice steady with conviction. "I love you more than anything in this world. I would never do anything to hurt you." Tears streamed down Henry's cheeks as he buried his face in my shoulder, his body trembling with emotion. Trust issues surfaced, fueled by the ghosts of his past relationship, and despite my best efforts to hold us together, to convince him that what we had was worth fighting for, it seemed like he was slipping through my fingers. I watched helplessly as he retreated into himself, building walls around his heart that even my love couldn't penetrate. He became distant, his once bright eyes clouded with uncertainty. And no matter how hard I tried to break through those barriers, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was losing him. I found myself lying awake at night, wondering where it all went wrong. Was it something I said, something I did? Or was he simply incapable of giving himself fully to another person? Haunted by the shadows of his past, he never provided the answers to my questions. Deep down, however, I knew that my career pushed him away. It felt like I was the only one fighting for our love. In the end, it didn't matter. Despite my deepest desires, despite the fervent prayers I whispered into the darkness, he slipped away from me just as effortlessly as he had come. And as I stood there, alone in the wreckage of our shattered dreams, I couldn't help but wonder if it had all been worth it. I wanted badly to taste his love, but was the fleeting taste of love worth the agony of loss? Was the brief moment of triumph worth the inevitable fall from grace? In the silence that followed, I had no answers, only the bitter sting of regret and the haunting echo of what could have been. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Also check out other stories on our channel and please subscribe. Our aim is 1,000 subscribers. Comment on your thoughts about my story. Thanks for watching.